All right, today what we've got here, we're gonna be working on this 1973 Challenger. This thing's actually been sitting since '09, but it does run and drive. So we did have this thing in a show recently. You might notice some of the stickers in the window. And we do actually have a guy coming to look at it tomorrow, but it doesn't run great. It's a real dog when you take off from a standstill. It's got a lot of power once you get going. It seems like we got a lot of vacuum leaks around the intake manifold and the carburetor, so we're gonna go ahead and replace on some of that. Try to do some tuning, get this thing running better, and maybe end off with a good old burnout. Let's get to work. So we'll just take a little quick peek at this thing a little closer. Very solid. I'm pretty sure this must be, I don't think it's ever been repainted. You can see there's a little bit of wear and tear on the paint. Not much rust. You got a little bit of bubbling down here, and then you got a little bit of rust through back here. But I'm pretty sure they make patch panels for all that. The rear end looks good. This thing's a pretty solid car for what it is. And I think it's a pretty desirable car. I'm not a huge Mopar guy myself, but I know most people seem to be Mopar or no car. So here we go under the hood. We've got a 440 in this thing. And as you can tell, some aftermarket parts. And this is what we're going to be working on here today. We're going to redo the intake gaskets, carb gasket and all that. We already put new plugs and wires in here and cap and rotor. And that's kind of when we found out that she was running a little rough due to some vacuum leaks. We tried tuning it out, but it's just too much. So we're gonna go ahead and start diving into this thing. Before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the interior here. We've got some new seat covers coming to take care of this issue. The headliner looks great. The dash looks great. Look at this thing. Awesome car. How many miles we got on here? 99,000 miles. It's probably pretty accurate. So the door cards look really good. Door shut decent. So let's dive into this motor here. Okay, I'm gonna rip that carb off. I'm gonna take the intake off immediately. Give me 3 minutes.
Want a timer?
No.
No. You should for fun. Just like get all your socket sizes set up and see how fast you can do it.
Yeah, I probably need what, a half? Well, I got a lot of stuff to take off the carb here, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no worries.
Really? You don't believe in me?
I mean, I don't believe you, but I don't want you to rush it and hurt yourself.
Oh, I'd rather hurt myself than the motor.
Don't want you to get like a rust buster or something.
Oh, shoot. Uh-oh. This thing must have got kind of hot. Our wiring was stuck to the manifold there and melted our loom. Flat blade screwdriver, 1/2 inch, 9/16, so we should be good to go. I'm gonna quick fire this thing up and we'll show you the reason why we're doing this. At an idle, it responds pretty well at the crack of the throttle, but as soon as you hit the road, you hit that throttle and it just bogs down until it gets up to about maybe 2,000 RPMs, and then it just takes off with a ton of power. So we're gonna go ahead and fire it up here real quick before we dive into it. We'll spray some of these seams and kind of show you what it's doing. There it goes. So I don't know if you can hear it real well on the camera there, but as it's spraying the base of the carb and around the edge of the intake, it kind of starts dying off on us. So we're going to go ahead and pull that, replace on these gaskets, and then see how she does after that. We'll go do a little testing and tuning, and hopefully we'll be able to do a nice little burnout for you guys. We'll shut her back down. We'll hop right in there, get this thing ripped off, and throw some new gaskets in there. Okay, we'll start by taking this carburetor off. good to lift off of there. Go! Alright, now let's get this manifold off of here. Shouldn't be too bad. So, if anybody watched the video with the station wagon and the caddy, where I had to take all this off of that station wagon, you can obviously tell this is a lot easier than those Ford FE motors. You can basically just pull these bolts out, this sucker should rip right up. And there you have it. That's all that is. So they used the metal gaskets there, and they had used a whole bunch of this gasket maker stuff. I don't personally really like that, so I think what we got was Felpro, which should be a lot better. Is this built into the, it's all one piece. See this? It's all one piece with the valley cover.
Oh, what the heck?
So it looks like our valley cover here is actually built, or has the intake gaskets built into it, which is kind of odd. I've never seen that before. Maybe it's normal on these Mopars, but that is funky. Wow. Well, we're gonna go ahead and pull that off. Okay, we're gonna rip this off here. Let's see what we got. Oh man, they got gasket maker all underneath there too. Oh wow, looks clean. Looks super clean. Everything looks great in there. We got a lot of gasket maker to clean off. Woohoo! Alright, so in preparation for cleaning this thing, because obviously we got a lot of gasket maker to clean off of here, I'm going to go ahead and lay rags down in here so you don't get no junk in there, and start peeling all this stuff off. Now I got everything covered here. I'm going to start scraping off all this old gasket maker. And since I have it all covered, I'm just going to scrape it all right into the valley here, onto those shop rags. Okay, so we ended up getting the manifold on there. We had a weird deal. We got these gaskets from the parts store that we thought we needed, and then it has a valley cover with the gaskets built in, like you guys saw. So we ended up getting a new one of those. There's the old one. We put the new one that's just like this in there, and that's what we're with now. We didn't RTV all of the edges like it was before, because I think the fluids were kind of eating away at that and making probably that's what was making the vacuum leaks, or I'm hoping at least. So now we got everything cleaned up here. We're going to go ahead and throw the carb on it and probably fire this thing up and see if we have any difference. So we'll get that carb on and give her another shot. Carb's back on. I think we're ready to fire it back up, so let's see how she does. Give me the honors. Oh, we got a fuel leak. I kind of figured it would. I'm gonna cut a little chunk off of that fuel line. Oh, okay. Because it was split on the end. All right, we got a little fuel leak in here. Kind of figured it might, and it's kind of frayed on the end of this hose here. No biggie, we'll just shorten it up a little bit.
Ooh, that is gone forever.
All right, fuel line's back on. Take two. How's that feel? right, so before we go do any more tuning, we're gonna go take on a little rip here and see how she acts. It does seem to have it's lost the boggy.
It's boggy for sure.
Yeah. It's not just like blowing them away from the stop, but what do you think? Still needs a little tuning?
It's still bogged a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's a hiccup.
Just a slight one though. See how like it like that's
Yeah. Seems to do it later now.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's pretty responsive. It just falls on its face when you throw it in gear. So I did talk to a Mopar guy, and he said that the jets and the carburetor probably need to be swapped out. It needs more fuel. I don't think we're going to get to that because we got a guy come to look at it tomorrow. So that's probably going to do it for this car. Yeah, that's a pretty cool car, and a lot of people like Mopars, but it seems to be that it's giving me problems, you know. Definitely pretty neat. Probably not often you're going to come across a car like this in this condition, but we had some fun in it. We got it running pretty good considering the time we had. So hopefully we can do a nice little test drive with this guy tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe she's going to be headed down the road. So regardless, thanks for watching. Do me a favor, subscribe. It'll help me do more projects like this and kind of keep the channel going. Like, share, comment, and we'll see you on the next video. All right, she's on the trailer. Headed to go see if this guy wants it.
See ya. Bye-bye, grocery getter.